I'm focused. I've been watching for the omens. I've been listening to everything you said. It's been running through my head, locked and loaded. I got the feeling that you know it. Yeah, I've only just begun. I won't stop until it's done, till you're broken. So welcome to the fire. I'm the one with the lighter. Flame it burning through your veins as we're walking through the flames, getting higher. Bigger they are, harder they fall.
We return to the dark. Battling Cyclopses, defending Mitsubishi, the archwizard who supported you, Jonathan's dragon form, 2 mouths, 4 wings, 4 arms, a mini I could never find, doesn't exist, it's very
weird.
And a tail, actually 2 tails. A battle that was fought decisively was still them getting some small amount of surprise on you. You learned about their history after defeating them, and then before you could try and leave, you were more or less ambushed by the goddess of Death's child, Desia, who did not seem to be entirely aggressive towards your group, in just that she caused you to become nauseous at the sight of her, and I guess sickened at the sight of her by some people with a higher constitution. Fortunately, Moki was not one of those people. So, some of you unable to move, some of you barely able to talk. You confronted her. She said sparingly little, and vanished without taking a single scroll, although coming to do so clearly. Oscar called for an ally through his ring, and a dark blue cloaked mage with a weird, very kind of bending and bowing wooden oak staff with a few rings on it seemed to just kind of appear and offer a archway on the side of a wall where there was nothing but stone to walk through, where there was not stone but a pathway through to a giant jungle at the bottom of a 3-story building. You have emerged out into this open space, and ahead of you this blue figure who said he could not be in that particular place you just fought for longer than 14 seconds. You see the 4 of you, plus the wizard, walk through the doorway. The wizard shrinks back down to his smaller form.
That's okay.
She is
She
wounded to the point where her body had been pulverized. Jonathan has basically fixed her, but her body is probably still quite weak from just the sudden coming back to functional legs, which she didn't have probably a minute ago. So, we return into a jungle, where people are scattering in. Now there's a few of you. Now,
Okay, so I'm in human form now.
Cool. Are you leaving your human form?
No, I'm in human form now, because it's only 10 minutes left for dragon form.
Okay, so you're fooling your dragon.
And
your dragon, is your dragon actually emerging?
yeah, my dragon would be then outside when we're done. Unless I can cast the pocket plane spell.
You'd have to do that.
Yes. Alright, so that means it's just walking.
100%. 100%. It just suddenly, as you emerge through the doorway, Jonathan's back blows out. There's not something behind him until there is. It's a giant, dark, dark dragon, kind of skinned, dark purple, but you've got tons of bones sticking out of it. It almost becomes a mostly white dragon from all of the cartilage that's just visible and decayed off of its dragon hide. Casimir says, well, actually doesn't say anything to you guys, but seems to gesture forward, and you are all emerging, but you see Oscar kind of quickly down. The quickly moving feet of Oscar running forward, the cloaked figure who brought you in here whispers something in his ear. Oscar like trudgingly walks back to you, like kind of like almost in a soured mood.
What do they say?
Mitsu behind you.
Tell me what they say, I can read lips.
Rasimir's wearing a mask.
They're not. Tell me what they say.
Well, you can make a perception check to listen. They're not that far, they're 50 feet away. At least like basically
So good at deceiving things.
Is quickly like step, runs to the door. Rasimir's also in the door. And just like whisper to each other. So 30 feet away, don't do it 60 feet. 31. You hear, here it is.
I sure hope it's in a language I understand.
You do, no, you don't speak Celestial, do you? Okay.
Racist.
You understand 1/3 of Celestial, because that's what you've understood this whole time.
I still have 4 more languages
Textually-
that are empty spots that I need to fill. So.
Celestial takes 3 of those spots, so no.
That is so rude, I'm never learning that worthless language.
Good idea. So he whispers something, and Imric hears like an angelic series of...
Speaking in that racist language.
Anyway.
This is a curse session so far.
You hear Oscar just is walking back to you after being 15 seconds running up to 15 seconds in total. He's back to you. He's been gone from you for 15 seconds. He's moved 30 feet away and he's come back. And he looks like he is already annoyed more than he was before. He looked like he was coming here for answers and now isn't getting that. And I've got to go. And starts to walk. I've got another job.
Well, what are you doing?
Fetch and quest task from Casimir.
Oh, we'll help you. Yeah, let's go.
And you see, and also looks back. Casimir doesn't make an expression because he's got a mask on. So I just sort of shrug and start to walk away. And I guess you guys start to also detour with him.
Yeah, I'll go with him.
Imric walks.
What
You
is
see, he just walks to the edge of the mountain cliff face here. There's like a large series of rocks. It's like the very corner edge of one mountain.
Like, what was the point of
Walks to it. I thought you would have been able to get something from you. I guess Casimir just wants me to do something.
What does he want you to do?
Go back into the dungeon I was training.
More training?
He said there's things I have to get from down there. I didn't get
What
before.
things?
It was vague.
Is this one of those really vague? Oh, okay.
I think he wanted some sort of support for us. Which is like useful support things. So I'm just gonna look for like armor and swords and shields, like Moki needs a new sword and stuff.
Two-handed.
Casimir, you gonna do your thing? Casimir just stands there. Okay, well I guess he
Jonathan
will walk up to Razimir. He'll take off his hat. He'll put it on his chest. He'll put his hand out to Razimir.
He's autistic, he doesn't like touch.
Mr. Razimir, my name is... I was about to say Jonathan Joestar.
I'm Jonathan Joestar.
That would have been a great name.
This is my stand. Lightning McQueen.
This is your bard inspiration.
I am Jonathan Negrodamus. Please. I'm pleased to meet you.
You see your friends are in quite a rush to move on from here and follow your friend Oscar's goals. I don't think you can really help him with. You know, maybe your friend Imric could, but honestly the challenge lies in him doing things by himself. He's got a dragon at his side after all. You can inform of that later. There are lots of things for us to discuss.
I see.
You see your magic, and I know her well. You're bound to it. I see you radiating it more than I expected. Carrying some sort of relic of hers.
I have an old idol of hers. A knife that I found from a cultist. I'm surprised I found it. But no, I am a priest of Rena, Church of Graves. A black priest, however. So, back in the wars. However, I've long retired that position. And well, the world has retired out church. My church, at least.
I know not of your churches. I never knew any to be here. I do know that
We are in Brandgate. This is the home.
all very close to her. I know she appeared here once. That was the only time I ever got to speak.
I see.
Over 1,000 years ago.
I was told about this place being the area of the Well of Eternity. I was sent on a quest to find it.
My lore gets muddled, and rumors and conspiracies merge with one another. You have found what you're looking for, and he gestures with his staff hand and kind of doesn't actually point the staff in any given direction, but you look in the motion he's swinging and you see next to a large portion of, like, just unmanaged ferns and bushes that have kind of grown along the side of the mountain that he seems to be burrowed in. You see 4, maybe 3 or 4 small pink flowers. The well, or the fountain, fate, had so many names. Once it did exist. Time buried it. But what grows over it are these.
Are you the protector of this well?
The Fountain of Fate, was buried under my watch. Now all that grows is its diluted children, so to speak.
The tales of many people failing to come here. To never return after reaching this place.
We have green remnants that wander the forests, and forests that wander the forests. Not very safe for normal people. Oscar was very battered when he first got here and did not make it back in one piece. So we were able to. I was able to gauge his power and roughly gauge your power to gain his experience. You have all the time you need, unless there's somewhere else you wish to be.
I have things I need to do in the city, but I need to figure out what I was missing here.
Well, I suppose we should try to reunite the angel, Shakek, which Oscar once had. That I can help with, but maybe also contacting Goddess. You are quite literally a vessel for her, and I think I might be able to use your natural energy to commune with her and let you talk to her.
I see.
But about that angel, while Oscar is gone, obviously we can do it, but if you think that angel belongs better with another member of your party, then I guess that choice is up to you. Its defensive power is unlike most.
I think
Anyone needing a god when it comes to their enhancements, but it is a complicated gift to someone.
Chaychak has accepted Oscar as his divine vessel. I will not give him another, in case someone's body will explode from his tongue.
Well, quite
Honestly, the only two I can see being easy challengers is and Oscar. If you wish to leave it with you, that's your purview. You can return the angel to you back the new that is because he's being currently tested. No, in my purview.
What is it? I'm shaking my ass on it.
What are you sending him?
It's a simple job. It's simply to retrace his steps and pick up the things that he missed. That's all I told him.
Right.
Many that deserve to die live. Many that die deserve life. You will be missing from the place where that matters most. And here you cannot help but choose. Your fortifications inside of the sea. How strong do you think they are?
I will be honest, I am worried about the city and I will need to return quickly. But if I can find the answer I was looking for here, I think I'll be ready to take on
Orisiano?
Odysseus.
Odysseus. Right. And then I think it was Orisiano. My mind is just jumbled.
Because you got dementia. Because you're old as fuck.
Odysseus has some dark intentions planned. Despite how dark they are, still are righteous in nature, and I doubt the gods will have issues with that choice, knowing who those beings were created. The leading light of the heavens doesn't take kindly to Ainerta since her decision to make planar travel possible for all humans. Now Northward's essence has been slowed, Odysseus will turn her anger towards a direction. This may benefit you, because before she can gather her mother, she will need the power to find her. The Western lands will have stripped away power of her, law of mortality and divine weakness from Inspires. She will seek her out with the dark magic she can wield, as you did with the Void. The dark power she wields much akin to yours. Void shifting, very nice work, by the way. Magic that bends around the divine can work to full effect here. That is why some very ancient evil powers can still be so strong. But if she can return to the Eastern lands, she will be a full divine sorcerer that she was before Inspires weakened and trapped her. It wouldn't surprise me if she attempted to dispose of all the Seth.
He was talking about removing one which you cannot allow. The balance of these beasts.
Behind you for a second, and you see Oscar's just waving his hand next to Imrek, just like waiting for Resume to do something. And he's just having you can't see his face, he's going to last one. You can see through two little eye slits, there's like some like gray, like you can see like the outer iris thing. But he's taking her note of the kind of waving behind where you guys are. You see Oscar's like, just wish he would listen to me instead of just doing what he wants to do. It's every time.
Resume.
This
An avatar of night.
he's very arrogant.
It's an avatar of night, God, that's good. Surprised he even told you.
Don't know if it's an avatar of the Nine or just some sort of forgotten avatar of the Nine.
Well,
I should
you're
really
going to
go
head off to your little quest. Well, I do some of the logistics, I guess.
You see Rasumir's attention is snapped for a moment and looks towards the large group and says, right. Watches where people are standing. I recommend, Evan Oscar, he starts to speak in common and loud enough for you guys to hear. I recommend you. And then you see Oscar grabs you by the shoulder and starts to pull you away from the mountain edge where you were standing. You need to come with me. He's gonna pick the mountain up. You see resonances.
Is that like a...
Don't.
Is that like a metaphor for something?
And you see Oscar not pulling you. He pulls Emmerich back 20 feet from the end of the cliff wall. If you hadn't moved, you were already far enough back. But if you went and followed Oscar, you would have been right next to him, so you choose.
I have to stay back.
Okay.
Right next to
PT
players like there, like an NPC.
I'm staring at Dragon trying to do the dragon map here. Ignoring the dragon map.
It's a
dragon!
It's just 2 footprints around, and then there's one wrapped around the tree.
Yeah. Your father's like, you have to kill it. Yeah. That's what I'll do.
Fine.
Dragon.
You see kind of grey-fingered hands, which never shook your hand. Finally emerge from underneath the robes.
He's rude.
Kind of look like they're tense very tightly, gripping nothing in the air, and then the rope kind of thrusting his hand upwards. You see about 10 feet under the stone mountain, plus the entire sheer cliff wall just rises about 120 feet into the air. Basically removing the front corner, maybe one of the support corners of the entire mountain. Just picking it up, and it levitates in the sky. Giant chunks of rock that you suspect would be falling off the sky don't, but then you see there is just a hail of debris still from underneath. Mostly dirt, but then you can see very large chunks of stone. Land very, very close. You see Oscar does kind of throw you back another 5 feet.
Kidding about that.
You watch giant chunks of dirt, basically mounds, balled up pieces of dirt land right where you were previously standing, exploding into like giant dusts of dirt. You get hit by the dirt, dusting you.
Are you a druid of the old?
I'm something that no one else is, and you see him walk towards Oscar and Emmerich,
So true, that's what I am.
and grabs Emmerich's shoulder very, very gently.
Well, everybody's just grabbing me today. Hello, Resume.
Oscar's got you on the shoulder like, this is
Meet you.
this is Resume. I guess I'm introducing you all to him.
That's a rimming off or something?
Resume, I'd like to take Emmerich down with him, and then you see Resume, without saying a word, just shakes his head.
Oh. Alright, whatever.
You see Resume then pat your shoulders, and it would be too easy.
What did I think I would be more liability?
Now, with your age, you have to climb the mountain 2 ways to get to my...
What are you talking to? When you were my age, you were 40 years in the future. Alright. I guess you're gonna go then?
See, Oscar is just kind of...
Oh, is the entrance under the mountain you just left?
You see there's about a 20-foot wide hole from that clear shift edge where it just drops. It's a very dark hole. It's a big drop. You see Oscar just kind of does a sideways jump and you hear a wall. Like he's grinding down the side of the wall. You just hear that sound for probably about close to, 8 or so seconds. What's down there? By an continuation of the tunnels sequence. The giant tunnels. Tunnels built by the giants, used by the Psychopomps, and offered to the ice giants, but they never built that far.
The well you're talking about. That is a fountain.
That was, that's only buried about 25 feet catacombs. Not in the catacombs.
Alright, he'll move the dragon. Come here.
Is the well full of stars? Because we've had experience of wells.
Oh, it's well and truly dried up by now.
I am going to go dig it up then, if you can point me to the direction of the tunnel.
Resume just doesn't walk away.
Will you have to,
Still the giant floating.
will you have
piece
to
of
kill
metal.
us if we find the well or something?
No.
We'll take us across the continent. Like a giant fire mouth.
That is also kind of a...
I'm going to let you all decide what you want to do. Your friend Oscar could very well be bringing an enemy back into this place. So what you do now might not matter in a day.
If he does, I'm hungry.
Well,
If he brings more than one, then I suppose you can eat.
if you want to go hunting, Moki, I could do with some lunch.
Oh, I don't think I should go now. Oscar comes back when I go.
I can you up some stew. I'd see you all rather. You actually would find, considering the battle you just had.
Bloody and well killed.
I burned to death in the heavens.
That's why you were so ready. Did Oscar. I see.
Sort of did that pet shoulder thing. You'll
That's
be fine,
I
guy.
shake it with God.
Yes. It hurt a lot.
I think you might need some time. Use one of the mountains. Try and use the night skies. See star. Well, starts to somewhere.
That again? Wait, that?
The mountain
I
starts
think I can get up there, I won't lie.
He walks over past Jonathan, starts to tap the ground with his staff in like a very much like a testing how solid the soil is. See,
Oh, there's oil here. Nice.
like just like grass, roots, something like that. And then about here, he starts to draw like a kind of in the ground using his staff, just a little wraps around this little area of bushes, steps over the roots of this tree. Takes about a 20-foot wide circle. Takes him about a minute.
I'm gonna go and get one of the flowers and get it swung.
Pick it up. He walks over and goes, oh, hey! Oh, no.
Well,
It's fine, it just please be very gentle and maybe come to my aboard and make sure you put it on your bench so I can put it.
I was just gonna eat it.
One panel will surely cure you of any need a whole rescue. But one more flower makes me like 8 flowers. Will restore some of those old foods, regenerate limbs. I've only got 3
Quite specific.
and a 4th young moon there, which will be dug up. So, like this, if you want to have the youngest one there.
Just
I think the fertilization process of these flowers might be far too much time. John's dragon against humans. I'm not going to stop you, it's not my job.
Well, I can dig around the flowers if you want me to.
The flowers grow up from the roots of where the fountain is buried.
Alright, Jonathan will walk to like the side here. I'm going to make like a new entrance over here then to it.
under. As it will just dig.
How deep is it?
It's only about 20 feet.
How big is it?
Is there a cabin down there or
25
anything?
feet wide. The cabin is about 40 feet below the surface that the stolen, not specifically below us right here. A portion of it, and he says where that hearth destroyed trees were there, there's a large right turn of the tunnels of Icarus. It's going to bother us. That's where the dragons is kind of digging. You can see the ground kind of like lift up slightly as that giant form is kind of digging under. Are you seeing through your dragon, or is your dragon just digging to it? And then what?
Just dig into it, as Jonathan will just be looking behind it to see if there's any
Okay,
cabinet.
so you like drop down into the tunnel that the dragon makes.
Just dig, yeah.
Okay, so you fall into the, like, the dragon doesn't burrow like into the tree, but as a representation, it kind of makes a wide enough hole, 15 feet wide. The dragon's ferocious kind of grinding sound, and then eventually it hits a point where you hear it carve, but then, unlike before, because you're down in the tunnel, you can see there's a faint kind of like blue glow that emanates when you hear that.
Alright,
The dragon has dug to about here, and as it hits something, this is like faint blue luminescence that seems to glow in the tunnel at the downwards angle that you're looking at.
Walk past, go get the dragon to back out, so we can really look at
The dragon, with not much room to move, just backs out, reins its whole body back, and then starts to climb out of, and then collapses the hole as it climbs out. But it climbs halfway out. So the tunnel hole is like quarter collapsed, walkable for humans. That dragon's not going to fit down there anymore, but also the fact that the dragon couldn't have dug too deep, unfortunately, because of where that fountain is. This actual hole, like the ground that you walk on here might be safe, but if the dragon walked on the ground that it dug under, it would probably come. So the ground beneath the hole is only about 10 feet below, and it's relatively loose packed soil, so the hole is functional. And as Jonathan goes down, you see what looks like some sort of blue metal, like a cold iron, some sort of like really like almost very dulled metally blue color. It's inscribed with what do look like sylvan like sigils, like basically runes of ancient Elvish. And you obviously there's a dirt mound wall, like it didn't break out everything. You sort of scratch this thing. You can't see dragon claw marks on this thing. Where it would have carved through stone, it seems to have been unable to even penetrate the outer layer of this thing, but you see almost what looks like a part of a rim of something, like a round corner of some sort of large 20-foot wide object.
What is the ancient symbols?
You see two sigils, two maybe symbols or parts of a sentence. It says, you read Sylvan, sorry.
I only read ancient English. I don't read that new age shit.
You see what you presume is a name, or at least a rune or glyph that is designated to some sort of a title. You're going to want to spell this out. GLAC apostrophe KAR, Glacar, GLAC apostrophe KAR, legend.
So G L
AC
black
apostrophe KR,
KAR.
Glacar, and then it says legend. Glacar, legend. But that's like reading a 5-foot wide sigil in Elvish. Or ancient Elven sigil.
Strange. We'll dig out the more with the dragon.
So wait, it's all soft enough, even underneath it?
I mean, it's only your dragon has effectively dug down 30 feet.
Yep.
With a 10-foot space above it, has drilled a hole underneath and across, and has revealed basically like a large part of a what you might assume to be a 5-foot high lip on the wall. Like now that you're here, you're like this could be the top of the well, because you see that where the point where the sigil ends, there's some sort of inward lip, and then there's like dirt. So your dragon didn't even like scoop off the top of whatever this was, but you might have tried. Have basically found the lip of something that could be completely buried, like looking at a part of a pot that's mostly submerged in soil. It could be deeper below. There could be more sigils below.
Someone will peek out of it.
Moki,
Yes,
do you have a way to dig?
I have my hands.
Do you have like a digging form, like how you grow spider legs?
No,
Wait, can Resume just live there?
You see Resident slowly walks over to you and quietly to you says, I could, but this is far more interesting. Oh, one flower, if I grew multiple, if they are seeded naturally by nature,
or anything.
Technically knowing these.
This is a concoction you make? Lose its
Axe,
potency after a while?
Oh
Or?
no, I just...
So surely you have thousands of these.
Well,
It's not necessarily that I seeded.
if I dig enough at the dragon's head, could you
Something
assist me in getting this out?
in the fountain seems to be seeded. These flowers deep below, and then they take 9 days, 7 days to emerge.
No, I mean, like, you've been here for thousands of years.
Yeah.
Surely you've... Yeah, but 9 of them meshed them into a pulp and then made it into a potion. You have thousands of these potions.
I have still got one inside.
You only have one.
Well,
Maybe the hallucinogenic.
more or less.
They regenerate someone's entire body, apparently.
They are good for me to have every few hundred years. And, when
I get it, you don't get many
When
visitors.
Oscar arrived and I lifted the mountain for the first time, I dropped a lot of debris on about 40 flowers. I lost probably about 4 miles.
So just not a collector, I assume.
I'm more of a...
Don't have a long shelf life.
So you're saying that we can dig them out?
They don't have a good call. They don't have a large shelf life. The flowers seem to only grow when the fountain itself is covered by soil. It hasn't grown when the fountain
Sorry.
is.
What I meant is, the vials of potions that are just buried in the earth.
Well, I don't
Dig
think he
them out.
has bones.
No, I have to pulverize 9 of the flowers.
Oh,
They're
sorry.
called sun elixir orchids.
I thought you just said that you lost them.
I did. There's under the debris of the mountain, which I just picked up and dropped. Just like all around that area, underneath
Sorry,
stones.
So we could dig them up.
I
I know your question, sure, I'll take them up.
I mean, it would probably take you a better part of a day, but go for it. Thank you. I appreciate it. And
Maybe I can get one in an hour.
it would only take me 2 or 3 hours to cultivate one elixir. I mean, I've only got 3 functional flowers here, plus 1 young bloom. I can begin pulverizing them on the inside, but I have lots of things that we should talk about in regards to who you next choose for your allies.
What did the fountain do before you buried it with soil?
I was never allowed to use it.
I
The
see.
gods did put it here for themselves.
Well, I will be needing to use it, so I will need to undo the whole thing.
What would the gods name?
A very long explanation. It had something to do with the agreement between a large number of young races which they had brought in before.
Right. Well,
Jonathan will step up. He'll touch the dragon as his shadowy form will leave his body and into the dragon. It's his possession.
Cool.
As he slashes on the tree. As the dragon moves with more intelligence.
Goes down, starts to.
I will be digging this up more effectively.
Understood. Fair enough. I'm at it. I will take the last 3 flowers now.
I'll recover some flowers. Make sure.
Make me a survival check for me. And you also
nature?
that's survival.
For dig. Yeah. I have a dig speed, that's what I'm just.
Your DXP will work. Nothing will go wrong here at this point. You just probably don't want to hit it with it.
Survival. Proficient in survival. Oh, it's not a trade skill. Yeah. Okay, 14.
Okay.
Alright, having absolute shit, I rolled a 19 for a total of 23.
Awesome. Moki, can you roll a 2d8?
So happy that your main skill was making.
All my wisdom skills, not just all my skills. Oh!
One more greater restoration.
13?
13.
Oh, sorry, which one? Yeah, 13. After the 1 hour of talking with Razumir, 50-ish minutes, Moki will be more or less done by 4 p.m. of picking flowers and unearthing giant stones. Slowly, at some point, while you were transforming into your possession shadow, you were not noticing slowly that mountain wall kind of returning slowly back and slumping in a little further than it did before. It seems to just naturally, quietly float down that noise. And as you see piles of dirt collapse, shoot out, like they're collapsing basically on top of Jonathan's back, and then he's just rocketing them out behind him. You're seeing the hole, the gully from where he's been carving just slowly fall as he's fully ripping out everything to make.
Can you just drop it like 30 feet that way?
I'm sticking back over the hole. Oh no, it won't be. I mean, it's not for. How do you plan to handle the child of death? You saw her. What did she say to you?
In specific, I think she was very mad. Gods in the eat Jonathan, eat all of the fiery scrolls, kill Sephira, kill other demigods, I think. Sort of the plan. I mean, honestly, I would have no problem with all that, but she's sort of trampling on civilizations. As for how we would stop her, I don't have an idea. It's not really my...
Oscar is conflicted because despite his detachment now from the gods, he still finds himself returning to their connection, strong as it still is.
I mean, of course, you can be mad. Our existence from both is connected.
Which means that despite both sides of the argument being tempted, you will likely fall to one of them. I saw their aristocratic clerocracy will likely be over if she does as she wishes. It is simply up to you if you wish to stop her now. We only have to worry about the consequences of stopping her if the goddess of death is truly powerful.
We're only an hour, right? Or would it take less? Because
It would take still probably more with a 14. You did not roll high in
just my general dick
What you're trying to do is you're trying to unearth the whole thing. You're taking an archaeologist's side. You're not crushing that into 1 hour. You're crushing that into probably 2.5 hours, maybe 3 hours, because you're trying to rip it. You know how a well has so much where that water would, that's just filled with dirt.
Yeah.
So if you want to actually find, you have to take away everything on the outside and then take away everything inside. That's the part that a dragon body is fucking amazing for, but it's still going to take some time. It's only because it's deep underground that you're having to basically uproot even more dirt than normal. But it's half as long as it takes Moki to pick up flowers. Oscar being consciously in this dragon's body, I think, is your perception magnified? Or is it still all of your stats?
It's all my mental stats is cute,
Can you make me a perception check?
The dragon would have shit perception.
Yeah, that's what it's like. It's
but
in
now
the
perception
perception
does 16.
Dead dragon.
I rolled that.
Okay.
Fortunate. It's the billion purple ones that are currently attacking.
You notice in a little bit of time, after about, since you had started 10 minutes listening to Rasimir speak with Imric and Moki for a few seconds, nothing before, and then you start to hear words like Latona, and you're like, that isn't important, but then you're like, oh, okay. So he's talking about the Minos goddess of death. So you're starting to hear, like, out of the digging and constant gravel crackling sound around you, this, like, Razimir is spilling more just willy-nilly to them above, even though you don't think they're the best reciprocals to be in. You're still, like, carving away, and you're hearing bits of their conversation. So you do get a kind of wide picture of, they're talking about the kind of, the epoch of what to do with a large, powerful creature hell-bent on destroying some civilizations. You remember before you get into this place, Oscar was vehemently against the Zephyr, what they're talking about, that sheep hunting. So ultimately, despite Oscar's interest, probably not as stopping the war, because stopping it would be not killing her, goddess of death. And so, for the first time, he probably went more towards creating or committing a true genocide. And as Jonathan, being very wise, proficient, not just a.
You're wrong, he's not wise.
Not wise. Intelligence, wisdom comes with time, and not in the way that. Not in the way that seeing every culture does, but in the way that seeing how cultures unravel. Jonathan's quite wise in. As Jonathan, under the context of the last being the Zephyr, the one that has supposedly power of the law, from what Oscar told you, the law power commands a continent. If that creature were to die, the types of anarchy that would follow from a creature of the law and its powers of law being dismissed, potentially also the power of the Dark Gods being able to come back to this continent because the power, you don't know what scale of control she has, if these are items locking their power in place or if it's all through her mind. The idea of a Desia killing a Zephyr that holds power of the law that contracts all soldiers to be almost mindless, lawful slaves, well, that would do. Processing all of that in the back, you know how quickly a society can unravel with one key figure like the goddess, in your understanding, how fast a society can collapse. Maybe her reasoning for regathering her mother's thoughts are because the punishment of her mother cannot happen while they are apart. I don't know. She was always very mischievous, even to me all alone. I caught up with
I'm willing to steal your clothes when you're bathing, sort of mischievous, or you like that village down there, Rumble.
once it was the former. Now it's not necessarily the latter, but that to her an understanding, confidence, and an understanding of consequences.
Well, I mean, those could be the same thing.
She's probably been spending the last however long she's been around. I know I showed her prison was not far from here, and I knew she was angered about who she was with. No matter it's good part.
In me, there was a rule of 3 eggs or something. Then one, or just somebody's ran about, reject. It was like 3 giants or something. 3 mothers, I think.
Might be thinking of the Luke Ravens. They were oracles of war. They were oracles that were the first who prophesized and sent elves to this continent to do. That not long after they came, the gods came back to the skies. Those more or less root creatures like the trees that cover its forests.
or made by the same.
You mean the old father?
And like those maidens have been very, very adapted, seeing the future, all that will happen. And unfortunately, whatever society you found them in didn't listen. Though they might have wished to.
Or along. Are his maidens still alive?
They are quite literally like the trees. They would only be dead if they were like that.
That's a long time for a year-old to still exist.
I saw them once. They did not ever come into the territory here, but I did see them, and they were.
I don't understand what you are.
I am something that probably has no need to still be here, and it doesn't matter who I am.
Yeah, but that doesn't answer the question. Oscar Total described you as a Avatar of the Nine.
Yes.
I never knew what the Nine was until Oscar.
The Nine has changed.
Right. I got that.
So what I was, no longer.
I don't understand.
I was once, and the choice I was given when the goddess of death was still as much a part of the Nine as goddess of magic. But now with both of them gone, I just represent the others where I am. Just those with the future. I represent it for the most part.
Brothers like you.
One is that we're given the responsibility that we're able to make it out in life. The goddess of death concealed by giving existence. The goddess of magic rejected by magic. So I got the one thing that they never wanted to be found.
Yes. Why?
Because there are knowledges they belong to. Which aside from this year, to destroy the largest capital of civilization of mankind. Recite the gods.
Asked.
You're totally listening.
I mean, you don't have to come out, you just don't listen.
So yeah, it's
for the tunnel.
Yeah.
Oh, you can talk about it.
Lost.
About how we will deal with Odysseus. I am planning to cast magic far beyond me. A spell used in the old days for traitors or religious order. A peak of magic that I will only be able to cast for a spell scroll, which I will need help in casting.
I so have more than just the item we have. We've got those scrolls.
Yes.
And a ritual to connect her to you might be easier than I thought.
You do that?
I must ask her something important if I want to cast the spell.
And I should also say that half, or maybe only a third, now of the remaining bones from inside are kept carefully guarded by some of my Saurian capital. Were made the specifics. The Odysseus was causing problems in her own journey to divide, which I can't say it's necessarily her fault. her half-sister from the goddess of Hives, that flight, as she had a lot of children. Those children were not quite as strong as Odysseus, but were very annoying, spreading plagues, many cousins. Because Butterfly was, at that time, sided with the banished ones. She's now changed sides, siding with the Crimes, but at the time she was being a pest. Odysseus was killing the pests, aka her children, and the gods were unhappy. So the goddess of death had to return to this world. So I believe you summoned her, Jonathan. And she offered herself in placement for her daughter to face punishment. Unfortunately, the gods were not so convinced. So they only agreed if the goddess of death was exiled from the heavens and sharing the punishment of eternal exile along with the daughters of his. So I joined to which they did to make up for their half-bred DNA with one of the banished gods, more or less the angel, the higher ranking one. So they made up for their birth of old sins by imprisoning Odysseus, and thus Odysseus will have an eternal grudge towards Lucifer.
But we need yours, Sephra, which is why it's important to stop her.
I'm not sure what you do, but I'm glad you are fighting against civilizations. It will be true chaos if Inspirus' walls unravel. That being said, I cannot believe that Inspirus, all of her power, and her lack of ability to concentrate on more than a few laws at once, has a war like more mortality and divine weakness just in her mind more times. I am 100% sure that is an item. She has channeled her willpower to be carefully about her sort of time. So I don't think, regardless, what she does in the coming days, what I feel about the banished ones return. I find that hard to believe she has.
She has a more mortality.
I swore along with the strongest of the old scrolls, like it keeps Inspirus' strongest laws that protects the eastern land from the west, left, or
There's a law that could make immortal beings.
That's why I have to have these flowers every morning.
Yeah. You should go over some flowers can get around it.
No, it's more that they restore you to a former age of your life. It would be like any god.
Wait,
Come here would be like me, slowly sucked of all the life, like mortals.
Is this the law that limits divine powers?
Merely neutralizes it.
It's not.
Divinity.
What is wrong with demeanor? Why does every continent not have this problem?
Well, Umbrix Axar, which we are currently at the edge of, now known as Bradgate, was once the home birthplace of Northward, one of the gods, the god of misery, who had to be born in the material world to understand it, and the birthplace of two others that are ferocious, psychotic, and hungry. But that's my choice, and it was inspiration for them, this land. The gods made a mistake like the fountain. And the fountain became useless, once the divine orders were set in place. To a degree, it still has its use, just not the power it once did.
Right, so the gods that walked here, they come to the fountain to keep warm.
Once the war was set in, yes. That's why, not long after the wars were set in, some gods like Butterfly were dead. Odysseus' mother. They both drunk with him. But then Odysseus was imprisoned and her mother split herself into pieces.
Alright. You said you wanted to talk to her before Arthur Jonathan. I thought she was dead. I don't know how that works.
She was banished forever. Death really could not be born again. So the only way to speak with her is to speak with them again. And her memory is stored in all of the power that made the bone scrolls, that made her children, Odysseus, Jonathan.
She awoken in any of the years.
She awoke to protect her daughter. When you awoke her inside of her realm at the beginning of the war, I can see the tangled knot, Farina, as you call her, spun within her. Control of the void helped to keep you alive. Not that you'd have any idea if she could have harmed it. I know not to what extent, but I see her power, believe in her children, that the same way the Psychopomps remain alive from her power due to.
Yes, we have been removed from the natural cycle to forever stay in this plane, to uphold our teachings. That is what we're told.
That is why your energy will be strong enough for me to communicate with her memory.
Is Sophia one of her daughters?
Sophia's been just
She is connected to a
totally
phoenix.
Phoenix has died. We get reborn.
Oh, it's pretty death-like. Doesn't feel like it's the same thing though. I don't know. The scale is crazy. My brain is breaking right now. But you said gods were like right here. Like God spoke with you.
She is more connected to the positive life plane, I believe. Of infinite life. Abundance.
She's alive.
Fuck that. Give me one of those flowers. I want that shit.
No, the probably hallucinogenic. Children should be. You have a daisy.
Anyways, I was going to talk to her and see if I would be allowed to cast a renounce spell and renounce Odysseus of all divine gifts, stripping her away her title forever. It can only be cast by a priest of Farina of the same order and the permission of their god to be able to do it.
She currently has no divine gifts here, but if she were to, which she's going to do, if there was a point of intersection where you could meet her, surprise her even, inside of the Temple of War, where she will likely be assailing in the next few days, stopping her there at the height of her power might very well be possible. But you can only do that in the Eastern lands, where her divine power is able to be nourished.
And I would need a scroll to cast such a spell, for I do not have the power to do it. Are there any clerics in this world that are strong enough to cast that spell?
So, that's ever good.
I'm sure the Temple of Lore holds nearly all scrolls of spells in the entire eternal existence of all that magic holds.
She's going to attack us, or?
She's going to attack the strongest stronghold of all. She's going to hunt the Sephira first.
I see.
It's her first hunt.
Maybe that's ever good.
The seconds there. 2 seconds is nothing.
If the Zephyr can't beat her, what are we going to do?
Strip her of our divine right. If we could use
Just do this from anywhere? We need to have her there?
We need to find her, but there is no saving against it if their god says
I think the Zephyr is probably going to be surprised. That might be her only advantage.
Should just tell her.
It's not my place. Because if I interfere now, then Inspires would know what this is, and she would seek this out herself. And for her to have a hold of this would mean that DeBrawl would. And DeBrawl would know that as long as he is here, he will live fine. As long as he has the fountain, he would be fine in the material world to wreak havoc. One child connecting to a dark child is ruinous, and that is why Odysseus wishes to destroy him first.
Why was one of the Zephyr evil and the rest are good?
Both of them were morally wrong.
Well, I mean, the rest of the Zephyr. Are they all from the Bro? Or just the twin?
They are all from the ball.
Why did they try to save Kath?
Because they were more or less bribed. And I believe the strongest bribe, which the humans would not really understand, came from their master, which cannot see them, but can speak to them. Inspires has likely done many fortifications to keep DeBrawl out of her mind, but an infected presence like his has sent Schlox, the all-seeing eye, into a pit of internal psychoanalysis. And inspires into a morally opposed figure. I think, more or less, their mother is sound in her judgment, but their father is a broken child. And that turned the Zephyr against themselves. Not against one another, but against their own self. Conflicting childhood, more or less, even though they were born more or less at maturity. Then they made their own children and decided that was a bad idea. None of the Sphinxes were making the same choice.
I always thought the Sephora were all different. Just at similar levels of power, which is why they rivaled each other.
The messages from these look as if they are no different. There is a human Sephora. I cannot remember his name, it's been too long. He came here as well once, but I made sure that he never saw it. By the time he did, he buried it.
So if you took this, and you asked for it, you would have full power.
So, although in fairness, when it was created here. Maybe that has something to do with it, but from what I think, the flowers seem to still harness some sort of divine power to restore people without there being a power of divinity left in it. It has a current of energy that cannot be turned off, but it's not filled, so it's simply dormant. If it was plunged into the oceans of Isora, I'm sure that the entire sea would become something else entirely. But then you'd have to move it. Maybe that's easy. Sure. It's a well. Now, there's a lot to think about.
If the goddess of death is ripped up into a million pieces, who is the god of death right now?
As far as I'm aware, there's possibly no one, or it's still her. haven't I?
He takes care of the dead.
Well, actually, I could explain some things to you about that. Originally, when there was no god of the dead, the souls would travel to every realm evenly. They would go to a furnace, the Fae, the celestial plane. Any demons, any Fae, any other being who wants souls can grab them up with no defense at all. That ability was then ordered by Farina, who could then protect the souls and allow them to go through the rebirth cycle or to other gods' outer planes. That is why she was the god of rest.
I think her children personify that. Like Jonathan's powers makes him immortal, her children harbor the people between realms, when she does not. So there might not be one. Her duty was. Maybe that's why the gods rejected her for being a part of the Nine now. But she left her responsibility to save her child. That punishment that she received made her more or less consciously alert.
Much with divine spirits that bring souls to it.
Exactly. But
It's
her,
like
her memories exist in all powers that she
Patriots or yes, it is.
there are Sakils, which are the traitor versions of Jonathan. They are spirits that some were banished, some were forgotten. Probably will incite the guess if she wishes the destruction of the world.
Well,
But the others are not so evil.
after the madness of being eternally alive, some have given up on believing freely. Just want to die. They are unable to, because their bodies are forever coiled.
So punishment is always it's all they know.
Some consider this plan hell on earth. So yes, some people are invincible waiting to come back to destroy it. But as long as you take their shard of her, you will become inert. You don't do anything.
Because I'm not seeing you shepherd a single soul anywhere ever. Just happen through you automatically, or are there literal people that have souls?
For Jonathan's purpose was not, and weirdly is not as we all suspect.
I was made in wartime. I was designed to kill people. To help soul off loss of soldiers. I am an antithesis to my whole church's ideologies.
To all of the worshippers of Natueda, whatever.
They hated me.
I know, but like, there are sermons and them burying people on the ground. That's
Oh,
equivalent
yes.
of what you're talking about.
Yes.
Back in the long time ago. All the time we just worked it out. We're trying to limit this thing.
Well,
It's not that she cares. And Jonathan doesn't hear that anything, but
So we're not back to the all of the souls go equally to the planes.
it's probably either something like that. I am not really familiar of where the souls are going anymore with her gone.
Divine spirits.
But if I had an assumption,
Whole soul.
any god could have a monopoly over it and get stronger and stronger without stopping.
as far as I'm aware, the gods that have their faith will keep their faith. And unfortunately, the rest, I know nothing.
Nothing stopping the gods from acting as a god of death, even with pain, right?
Correct, but
That's why the power of a god is reserved for the nine. The other lesser deities have no omnipotence to that degree, meaning that they have no ability to take infinite. It is controlled in the heavens, and that is because the goddess of death, she likely took all of the souls that she took. And the gods were probably not happy with not having an increasing amount of numbers in the heavens army, because they did need more divine spirits to help fight the abyssal realm Abaddon.
God will just take any just and worship it.
Well, at least the goddess of death might have, because all that die fall into her realm. She had first pickings, no matter what. That's probably why the gods wanted her out.
God just wanted the best of the best. And keeping them for herself.
She also created a system to make it easier to manage the souls. As the hell still got souls, so did other places. Now it is untamed.
The way that Jonathan turned out, it sounds like she had good order.
Is she popular?
Very. One of the most popular churches in the world.
No. The other gods were like jealous. We want some of that. Oh,
It's killers.
We were allied with a bunch of churches.
She nobly sacrificed herself to protect her daughter, confronting the other gods. They sided with a god that quite literally betrayed them. Her sister. They sided with her sister over the goddess of death. And I still...
God sounds so mortal.
The goddess of death's sister, Butterfly, that's what she's called. There's too many names for her. She quite literally made the barrier between the abyssal realm all of the other realms, more or less making sure that that realm was guarded by 5 gates, 5 layers of defense to keep everything out.
I think that is a rule.
She did it here before the divine walls were put up.
I mean, it's good, I'm glad, but like, why didn't she remember that her
They're
responsibility?
gods capable of betrayal.
I wish I could have asked.
Yes.
Worship them.
That is why we have the Holy Wars. We eventually came up with a treaty at the end.
Gods need a treaty to be good, right?
Because everybody wants to be the owner.
Even the goddess of death, in the way she told me, had to sacrifice her strongest scrolls by hand, giving them to Mandravis, some sort of a knight in Isora, leading temples. She had to give them her gifts without her choice, so that she would have a chance of being heard by the other gods, the humans, conduits between God and God.
Rare sounds like the best god. What other god? I don't know any other god that sacrificed themselves to him.
So,
Irina, best god for
I think the old father cares about.
Not to a degree, I think so as well, but he's been unusually quiet.
At the very least, I don't think it's.
Monster behind everything.
All the pirates,
Irina will come back if we get all the scrolls together and like John does his thing, right?
that's what it is here, is searching for.
Let's do that and make her the yoga god.
But you see, some of those scrolls are carefully guarded inside of Isora's Temple of Lore, where Inspirus slips.
So they have the other from the gods, and, you know.
That is what Odysseus tried to
We
do.
wanted to revive Farina. We'd have to hunt down
all her parts,
all
which Odysseus
the old
tried to
followers.
Irina sounds like a great god. Centaurs don't have god who worship ancestors, but Irina came alive again, became god. I would love for her to be a god of Centaurs. She sounds great.
I had a friend who went on that mission, which is why I don't have a piece of her.
I do think that the goddess of death might welcome many of your kind to her arms. I doubt she didn't get the horns.
fight by her side, comforted by the dead in her arms. She was a mother to them. And she was kind to people like that. That's how I know she wasn't like the rest.
All the god that hurt my people, that's also honorable to give up that.
Well, she clearly has a really bad.
The favoritism actually help you.
So the favoritism is that she destroyed herself and did little terrible that, so that her daughter would get a little bit punished.
More than destroyed. All of the focus. It's made to the curse. For once, I'm free of it. But if you want to identify the curse, I could release Carthus from the soul prison. You can identify it yourself. I am Bishop.
Oh, is that the one with...
You're right, you never met.
No. Scratch.
Well, I will need to be
That's the one
releasing
with
him
Paul
if I want
outside
to
of
figure out
the
how to use the web.
You think Farina could
He's
help
the
you
only
get
one
away with that?
knowledgeable.
Oh.
He at least knew the scripture on it.
Just find your
Well,
weapon.
if you always doesn't actually have the scripture, or at least
terrible
not
at
in your
talking.
soul when you came out full once.
Yeah, we're gonna fight the fucking
I think I can get my strength back if I like go to God.
I don't know.
I'll be
And what's
great.
the meaning of that?
I don't know what the problem with your wife was, but I feel like if you just woo her,
Off
you'd
the
be
straight
fine.
line. Finding your dad.
Killed my son.
No.
Yeah, it's like,
Shit.
I'll run it
He
more
was
like
a pork. That's pretty shocking.
Everything's
Still an orc.
Yeah, I know.
He wasn't. He didn't know he was an orc back then.
True. Yeah, back then he was not there. Sorry, he was there, but someone else was in the body.
Surely your wife can love your son even though he's an orc.
If you brought your son here, I probably could have turned him back to the... You know, if you just
So we didn't know you existed.
Oh,
Yeah.
can you come back with us, please?
I'll just give you my one.
He can't do it. He can't do anything.
Oh, it's the potion that will fix it?
I will give you my only elixir to give to your son. Just
Yes,
don't
thank you.
break the very fragile clay bottle.
Was this the elixir that turned
If
Osprey
you touch
into
anything, it will break.
Oh, yeah, I can't,
Is this the elixir that turned
please protect us.
Osprey into a human?
Protected, please.
Is that a different elixir?
Alright, so please put it in my unconscious.
I can't touch
Osprey's a
it.
human now. He said he drank from the thing
Oh,
of
yes,
life.
that was the same one.
But I am in dragon form right now. I was good.
Right, okay.
Dolphin's boy is like something that tree over there.
Yeah.
Alright, that could be good.
Alright.
Where he's just talking to
Cicero, can you go put the bottle on? Henrik,
Sorry, what? What do you want me on?
can you put the potion bottle in my pocket?
It's very fragile, so be careful.
So he gets basically wax-covered, clay, small, dark
Pick it
brown
up with the
balls.
same amount of dexterity. Pick everything up.
It feels like ordinary pottery.
there.
It's fine.
It's probably about half full. Like you can obviously feel a decent amount of like swirling and swashing. It's
No, that's not all good. I've got 13 files.
very honey, like very strong kind of.
13 files. Can you make more elixirs?
One more.
Well, the problem is they've been half pulverized, but I could at least make at least one more, if not two, maybe.
Make perfect, please.
I
I've got like 15 days. Will that do anything?
They look nice.
no, but they do have small intestinal supports. So
Do they
if
fix-
you eat them, they might help your
We're only
bowels.
using 10.
Do they fix debilitating mental problems? Because he has a few.
I could.
Wait, dude, shut up that.
Like that.
I think it could, yeah.
You should probably drink it.
So,
You know, even the daisies will fix my mental problems. Yeah, sure.
in the next 2 hours, I will likely see if I can make more than one. I will get working and leave you to discuss the information. Look, I'm letting you do all this because you have to decide. A civilization or turning the gods against you.
Is it human?
It's the civilization that
Sarah
gods first made.
No.
Well,
For your context, yes.
You're not killing everyone there, you'd be simply allowing a being to unravel all of the protections that civilization has developed over the last 1,000 years, and it would turn for a time, only a few decades, the cities of the capital to
Like a wolf would wander into the city in absolute no protection.
Sure.
It's more like
Demons.
it's more like the dark banished gods would find a great deal of misery inside of.
They should make their own protection, that's what Centaurs do.
I made enough to protect that city, so I unfortunately won't be able to.
You talk about like a golden empire.
Yeah.
See how you're now a bunch of tribes running around looting human cities?
One tribe.
That's what would happen to the humans.
I like
They
that.
don't want that.
All of those
Fair enough.
human cities came from that one human city.
As far as I'm aware, the elves will be fine.
The world would not collapse with that city being under duress.
It's easy. Too humble.
But there would be a great deal of harm to once that did die. Shrugs. Walks around. Enters through the little hole in the mountain, and you can see that there's like a large amount of inside ivory that just has to kind of push aside, like there's a kind of curtain of hanging vines that leads into this small, tiny hole.
Well,
I can't fit in that.
You can, it's a 10-foot wide opening. It looks a bit cramped because of the like ivory walls that contain it, but
I'll go in there.
it's very lonely. There's a little fire pit. A little bit on the ground.
Unfortunately, he's not an object.
Sophia, you noticed that during your whole discussion, as soon as Mr. walked in with you, started listening to your conversation, before the mountain wall even lifted, at a point he just disappeared. At a point.
I am not interested anymore.
It was before the whole interrogation of what you've just been talking about.
Am I taking pictures or saying before that?
It did seem to like do a little flash.
If it says
and
capturing,
then
that's good.
capturing
That's
on the
good.
top.
I'm so glad that his house is Santor accessible.
Moki has to duck.
Yeah,
But then once again,
that's
it's like a 12-foot tall thing. So your head's like just the horns are just scraping on the roof. That's you're like it's a comfortable amount.
Wow, you're too big.
Thank you.
But there is weirdly enough a
Yeah, it does that with
Okay, cool.
Pathfinder.
There's a literal like brick fireplace matching the wall. There's a brick shelf where you can see small wooden pans or like they look wood, but then you're like, oh my god, that's some sort of dark clay, just like the little pot that you've got. It's some sort of like clay cooking pot. Shelves. This place is homely but loosely packed, and then there is one large log in the middle. And there's two smaller kind of sitting logs that have been perfectly cut, and then there's one kind of rickety old looking chair which you see Rasmus sitting. Start to put a mortar and pestle in his hands and start to grind 3 of the handful, the stack that he's got on his side of these pink flowers. It's quiet. Sound. Imre, could you? What do you do?
Snoop around his things.
Okay. You see, he's put his staff aside. His staff is probably one of the more interesting pieces, but you see small, tons and tons of weird little clay things, or even weirdly little like dirt pottery. Like he's somehow hardened really compact pieces of dirt into really thin, elegant little pieces of decorations. But they're more like somehow he's made like what you might consider like a dirt compost barrel. Where you can see that there's like pieces of shredded flowers in there, but it's like a grill. It's like you feel crumbles in your hands as you touch it. It's very interesting.
I finally found spells.
Water scraps been forever.
You see tons of melted candles along parts of the walls and like the large crack grooves where you can see suddenly he waves his hand through the whole room, the fireplace ignites, the walls suddenly spun into life with candles that are mostly burnt out. I will make my stew for you all after. I definitely suppose use rest here. Yes, I'm not sure if you can. I'm sure also it won't take more than 8 hours to return. Now this has been, because Moki has gathered all those flowers, it's been fucking reached 4 p.m. When he's saying this, you have, the well is fully done, because obviously he's done his. You are noticing more or less a cold iron, enchanted to have this faint kind of shimmering blue color on it. More symbols and sigils. You have probably spent an extra hour on top of uncovering it, so 1 hour before, finishing up completely 1 hour before Moki finished picking all the flowers, you would have gathered that there are 2 other things, titles with the word legend next to them. You see interesting titles that you've read before. You've read one recently, and you swear you read it in one of the stone tablets of the Cyclops. You see Thrum, so Thrum apostrophe Kar, Thrumkar's legend, Glakkar's, and Zel Charm's legends. Symbols in an ancient dialect. When you uncover it, you realize it is Sylvan by classical dialect, but it is older in the actual sigil that is the naming convention. That is older. You're guessing that could be like teetering on primordial and giant in a kind of combined sense. The very first language of probably one of the first species that wasn't of the way that you notice this is not a small species race. These sigils each had to have been carved by some sort of object that was a carving shape of at least 4 inches wide. So like, you're talking, basically a shovel's width down in these like sigil carved wounds. Like these are really, really wide image sigils on this 20-foot wide bowl. And you've been, for the last hour, just ripping up dirt from the middle of this well, and you do hit a point, at least you think you do, where the bottom of that well has some sort of like change in topography. It's a cylinder all the way down, and then it becomes this kind of like cone at the bottom. You're digging a cone out. And then you hit the very bottom of that cone hole. You realize that these symbols and sigils of legend and of titles are imbued all the way down this well in a very strange kind of like a triangulated pattern across the whole thing. They don't move. They stay loosely about 10 feet down. Every 10 feet down, that sigil reappears. It's not glowing or anything. It's still slightly covered in dirt. You see the bottom of this well is just dirt. Like the very bottom where that cone reaches the tiniest part of that hole, it's just this little opening at the bottom where dirt is. When you dig through, and then you're actually able to basically put a half-dragon claw hand through the hole into what is basically this well. We've reached the bottom of the well, and there is nothing there but what you've been digging up this whole time, which is tons of roots that aren't innately a pink color, they're just a dark, kind of palish, kind of creepy color.
We reach the very bottom and start crawling out. As Jonathan will go back to his normal form after asking the dragon to sit outside to act as guard.
Very fair. Your hands like just wiping the kind of wettish dirt off you, and as the dragon, you say you disconnect from the dragon, is that what you're doing?
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, you wake up, you tell the dragon what to do. You wake up inside of a small stone room. Large cracks on the wall that look natural and like not hollowed out, but simply just the splits between where large pieces of stone hold this little hut together. You see that's where the little wax candles are, lining the little cracks in the walls.
two small glowing candles at the top of a fireplace made from some sort of molded stone brick, like another piece of decor in this room. You see wood, you see small countertop benches, you see a basket filled with what you're assuming is relatively fresh fish. Maybe like a day old. But it smells semi-potent because that's how you know it's a day old. And but there's really not a rotting smell, and there's like kind of visible a barrel which looks like there was a lid on it where salt would be stored, and instead it's run onto the table countertop. So naturally an accident.
Right. I'm going to be releasing Carthus now. For assistance. Figuring out how to use the lab.
Wait, you just do that?
Yes, I could have released him any time. It's just he went into hiding for a reason. But I think we are far enough away that she will not see us.
But if she does, do we expect the company?
Yes. That is why it's dangerous, why I asked the dragon to protect the area.
Do you have a large weapon I could use that would immediately break in my hands?
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, if only you use your magic weapons that don't instantly break in your hands.
I have this magic spear, but it's a piddly fucking spear.
Pretty good.
Piddly.
I think better than most of the
For
ones
this
we've done so
moment
far.
of great possible danger, I will atone you. You are now immune to all curses for 24 hours.
You're immune to curses.
Yeah. But I can only cast it once per person.
And it's including the razor curses.
All curses.
And so you no longer have the reduced wisdom.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
You also no longer have the substitutable fingers.
My god.
Just for today. It will, when it goes out, everything comes back.
So suddenly the sound of your father has been echoing from outside the door of this little hole in the ground. Whole time, it's not stopped. It suddenly stops. You
Oh my god. And I hold the rock. It's not crumbling.
I have this power, but it's only once per cast.
Oh my god, that's great axe.
there you go.
I will never be able to do it again.
Really. But it definitely would have been a bad to have done this.
Yeah, I only have a normal great axe to use. I don't know, it breaks in my hand.
When I release Carthus, I don't know what will happen, and I rather this be well protected.
Might be an opportune time. But we can see what Carthus has to say.
Resumes here, what could possibly go wrong?
Jonathan will cast the spell in reverse, as you've seen with the before.
And what he told you to do to release.
Yeah, you can fight people other than dropping mountains on them, right?
Not technically, but
He's not technically a fighter either. But magic is OP, so...
my staff gives me both hands. Face spirits to improve my chances. No, don't worry, it's fine.
I know what a dryad is. But I mean them, I want to get my...
Want to speak to gives there are days walk. You watch as Jonathan begins the ritual and all the candles sputter to basically embers, and then you watch as the entire room feels like it becomes shrouded in a kind of deep, sunken darkness. You feel like you're at the bottom of the ocean floor for about 3-4 seconds. By the 5th second, you start to see there's little beacons of light where the candles were all around the room, but still a very dark space. Like suddenly the floor becomes really, really black. Each of you can see each other. Each of you can still see the reflection of light from your eyes. You look at each other. And then on that 6th second, all the light in the room returns. You see there's a floating kind of spectral form. Remember, must be checked, it must be not spectral, but at the same time, he kind of appear out of nowhere behind you. He's weirdly ghost-like.
Whatever.
But as you see kind of gentle black, dark grey robes. Suddenly watch as his face goes from being normal and kind of still sunken and weirdly hollowed out where the eyes would be. I mean, you can see there is some sort of colour there, like you're seeing a kind of grey where the eyes would be, but it's so sunken into a darkness that doesn't naturally appear on a face. A face that would be fully physical wouldn't have such sunken sockets. So you instantly get engaged. He is somehow ethereal, or it has been ethereal this whole time. And you're watching something inside of its physical form kind of make its dark grey cloaks darker, but it's doing so in like a weird serpentine-like motion. So you're looking at like its midsection of a ghost. The midsection of a ghost is kind of a grey. It's very dark grey. In like there's something curving through its abdomen, rising up to the neck, moving back down towards the waist, around the belly. It's like almost some sort of like weird Ouroboros serpent, but it's dark, it's a shadow, and it's inside of the ghost.
That is the thing inside the Cornell. Spotted parachuting Garthus.
It's just kind of floating.
Oh, great.
Cornell gave Carthus an STD.
I asked Garthus for assistance in sealing the demon. His only answer was to absorb it, because that was the only way he had.
Solely transmitted disease, yeah, makes sense.
What is the next step, Garthus? Garthus, release the demon. You can't hold it anymore.
Statically break up. His voice sounds like it's fragmented. Then it kind of comes back together, correlates back into that dark kind of ghostly rasp.
The only reason he's still alive is because of the blessing of Farina.
The power inside of you was happy together. The darkness inside.
Is your shard still going? Did you lose your shot of Farina?
Was but small. It has been small.
I see you've been corrupted.
I was playing.
The fountain is empty. Right.
You start to walk outside. You watch in the room as you are standing there. Razimir doesn't say a single thing.
He's just like,
Razimir is simply sitting in a chair that is more like everything else in this room is logs. You're all been sitting, you've got log seats, so he's got a chair. And he doesn't move. No, it's like some simple, very boring. You can definitely see it was
oh, that's a great idea.
like carved wood. He is currently sitting in the chair, pulverizing flowers. Wow! Jonathan has summoned a ghost holding a demon in his room, and there is somehow no reaction out of him at all. You walk outside, you bend around to see the fountain, and you see very quickly the ghost behind you starts to kind of pick up pace. It's moving very slowly before, but as soon as it bends enough in the corner to see the hole that the dragon has made, you see the very lip of cold iron emerging from it. You see that ghost quickly almost half sinks through the ground. You see his carcass upper half only visible as the body basically merges with the ground, falling through the ground into the hole at an angle. You obviously within a second, notice him, watch him merge himself into the very middle of the hole that is made in that fountain. Then you watch as the darkness that was circling around in his chest becomes not a deeper darkness, but a quicker moving one. With some you might call it a yin and yang, but it's only visible in that kind of way where it's like blobs of energy that are kind of moving through him, picking up speed in a way that it's almost flushing out his body to look even darker. Granted, this is only close to 5 p.m. in the afternoon. There's more than enough light to see everything in his form through his body as a ghostly apparition. You watch 3 tails emerge from his stomach, whip around. You watch from his back a almost prehistoric animal head slide out, but it's still ethereal, and you can see through it. But that was the demon.
Jonathan, that's the demon.
As you see, almost he's not moving, but there is something spinning through him and ethereally half pulling out of him. You see Tarkus is starting to mutter things. You understand it as the ritual faded bone is trying for it out to unwind, just like right.
Do we have any ways to banish
Rhapsody is like not even outside.
He's busy making.
But Jonathan, you very quickly notice that your wizard is using magic, is in his ethereal form, summoning energy around him, but it's also like he's statically being either disassembled in his ethereal state by the thing that's inside him, or in a way they're kind of, one of them is trying to fight for dominance. Noticing that, make me a knowledge arcana for me.
Alright, that's
20, did you say? You have somewhat a decent idea of the magic you can see at the bottom of this well. There are symbols being ignited on the ground that weren't there, or are technically what you might call ethereal runes, alighting on the ground, forming a circle around the base around this wizard, this Carthus, which holds this demon. And you get the idea from it that there is a circle of magic being prepared by Carthus, but it's taking longer than you expect. This is something that probably happened in one round. Looks like it's taking 6 rounds. Because you're hitting that 6th round point, and all of these sigils are slowly, dramatically glowing in this hole. And then you notice at one point, you hear this, okay. The man, Carthus himself, sounds like he's almost retching for air, or retching itself. Just this kind of distorted, broken breath that is very loud. You see suddenly the entire hole that is this well seems to ignite with this like dark light. You see basically shadows starts to crawl 10 feet tall. A wall surrounds him of just shadow. There's light. So you're obviously able to see this physical material shadow floating up. And then through that shadow, as if it's like very murky water, you're barely able to see the form of Carthus through this. But then you watch the body of Carthus slowly, like, back towards you, back towards the edge of this hole. And then you watch that form, that shadow, just pull out of the black circle, that black veil, it emerges, the shadowy form. You now notice the shadowy form is less grey, is in a deep black, almost purple robes. The shadow of him is maybe close to 10 feet tall, where before it was close to 6 feet. Arthas pulls back out, and you as Jonathan, his form is way more material, basically maybe even more material than when he sucked Cornell into him when you first saw him. Like the cloak that he's wrapped in is a dark, very black, but you can tell it's purple because it's very material. And you see him come out, you don't notice or can't visibly tell the difference if there is some sort of possessive force attached to it because of how concrete his form seems to be despite him floating out. But still with that broken voice. Not broken like it was before, not distorted, just displaced like it is in the ethereal realm speaking to you.
Club him, lay him down on the floor.
You kind of seemingly like you're able to physically tug at what feels like water if it was physical and held form to a degree. You realize if you tug too hard, it's not that it would rip away, but your body would seem to go through it. You see from inside of that shadow, there's about a 10-foot, so that hole is 20 feet deep. There's about a 10-foot tall wall that emerges out of that hole. And then there is, not that you would notice, but there's more or less a cover, a shadowed cover. You're seeing a 10-foot tall wall of shadow appear around that well. People who are paying attention to games, perception check.
I'm so perceptive.
Oh, I rolled well for once.
I know I'm a cut, so I am also so perceptive. But
20.
I rolled an 8, but I'm a 20 because I'm no longer mad.
Yeah, well, 20 doesn't get you to see anything. Unfortunately, 25 is your DC, but
Damn.
you are now perceptive enough to notice, obviously, the very large, shadowy figure that has emerged out. And as Moki, you're able to tell that compared to the thing that was in this room, it's a different color cloak, like more opaque, visible. You're noticing it's much taller, and for the rest of you are noticing from inside of this kind of shadow sphere that's surrounding, you see there is a shadow kind of pushing on the inside of that sphere, where you can see there's ripples. You can see that it seems the shadow wall seems to kind of stretch out 4 or 5 inches, and you can see some sort of what you might assume to be 3 to 4 fingered talon, like trying to pry its hand through what's like a veil of shadow. Like you're really able to tell that there's three main claws and a bottom claw because it's creating a very tight distinction as it tightly tries to pull out on a veil of shadow. Not visible, you can see its claw emerging, trying to reach out of it. There is and as you and I can't listen to
Are you able to look at something equally eternal?
we need to drop it again.
My circle against evil will hold its ring for as long as I am conscious.
I see.
You walk up to the kind of veil of shadow. It's kind of buffeting a little bit, like there's a wind kind of current washing over it. But
Worse.
Early minutes, yeah.
do you try to look in, or do you just try to
Still good.
okay? You try to stick your head through the veil of shadow.
I'm gonna look in the well.
So the veil of shadow is currently covering the well in a perimeter that takes up the entire kind of outer lining of this well. So a 10-foot tall veil of darkness has been put up. You can see through it with your very perceptive, like it looks like incredibly murky water that at some small degrees of angles you're able to see through it. And by seeing through it, it's more like seeing a shadowed form, an outline, a silhouette. Because of what you think this is probably, if there is something inside of it, the castle says there is likely a demon in there that's taking up so much space, it's pretty hard to see it. It's likely it's filling the space. Card is... I left this on the whole time, fine.
I will stay.
And it seems to be gesturing to the well itself.
You want me to destroy the well?
I want to know if you do.
I do not see the reason. I was coming here to stop whatever Odysseus once more.
Will need much to unwind her from her guard.
Yes. But I cannot cast that alone. We need somebody to give me a scroll so I can give it and cast it against her.
Place where you can find my research. There is.
Yeah, never did not.
Find my research.
Of course, dramatic epic music is fine. Come on.
You would download research.
I like that. I get that reference. Yeah, yes, I would download research. It's free, usually.
All of the secrets I have were sent away from my home, the whole temple. They were sent into my Sora. Scrolls of the divine unwaking, not be kept here at a useful level. They were required elsewhere. The temple holds them. My research.
You're telling me to return home to Necrodamus once more.
There is only remains there. My work was too valuable to be left in home. It was. My Sephra.
Sephra haven't.
What temple itself the keyboard secret an ancient knowledge on Vesca.
All comes back to me.
He would not be was not divine enough to be offered the truth.
What were you doing before I came to King's Bay.
Was building.
You were working for Odysseus.
I was working. But I shared more than I had to speak. With goddess of death. Sacrifice you.
Sacrifice to who?
Your vow would have been lost if not for the sacrifice. It was the town you were found. And you're starting to realize, like, the things he's saying probably would make him evil, but he was able to leave the field of evilness that is trapping this demon. Surprise me. Odysseus would depose Zephyr's power and knowledge. I thought they were keeping it safe. Maybe they still are. I will be able to find the signatures of my magic if I was close. I will need to join you in a journey to the eastern lands. To struggle I could phase through, finding my magic would not be a challenge. Getting me to grab it would.
So he is a physical body.
Not seemingly physical, visibly physical, but at least the way he's saying it, he doesn't sound like he's crap.
Are you astrally projecting your soul from your real body?
I have been in my physical body for over 200 years.
Escaped the curse.
I followed Odysseus' footprints. I found the correlates. I laid myself to rest beside them so I could never die. And I built my army as a ghost, making ghosts, making armies. Just west of here, my new temple. All closed.
I see. We need to head to the west to return you to your body so you'll gain your powers back.
Create more scrolls that way, but you would have to find the ones. And you would have to trace the tunnels of Icarus. That is a maze. It took me 10 years down there. I had to live through. I wasn't alone, so I found.
I think I know how to find your body. Well, you have clearly deteriorated over the time. I have a duty to protect the town, which is the only reason I'm hesitant to accept this mission.
While they're talking.
Yes. In common, you hear all of this, by the way, so you're able to do absolutely well.
Rather
I
than
can speak it all language because you would know it as well.
Absolutely. That's absolutely.
I think rather than put my head in, I think my whole body over the last 5 minutes just slowly lean forward.
Okay.
Against the shadow.
At first, you feel there is a distinct, like, elasticness, but that seems to soften more as it feel your head breaks, or at least enough shadow relinquishes around your eyes and around your eyebrow area, like down to where it's kind of just shadow from your cheeks onwards. You can't even see your ears in the periphery. You look and you expect to see a demon just like in your face or whatever.
Big chiller.
Instead, you see 3 tails, like all kind of curved, kind of like semicircles. You see, it almost looks like they're forward sitting, kind of dome-like scenes. It is a shadow of a beast that has carapace-like crustacean joints, limbs. Everything looks like it's a type of bone. It's hard to get. I mean, you're getting a clear outline. Color-wise, like a dirty dark brown color. Everything in this room, everything in this shadowed. Room is different than all work. This basically shadowed ritual space. Doesn't give you enough light to see clearly what this thing is. And then, with your head and your eyes, your nose pointed down, the top of your head is obviously clearly relinquished enough that you're looking down and through this veil that's more or less now just behind your neck. You see not a whole head turn up. You see the head rotate. And you see 3 red slits side by side. Glowing with red.
Like a black hole filament. That's alright.
You're not even able to look at it. As a good aligned creature, there is a shadow veil. It is at the bottom of the world 20 feet deep. It's not. At one point, you obviously saw its claw trying to emerge out, and to a degree, when that was happening, you were able to see that there was something behind the veil, like a large shadowed object, definitely a 10-foot wide creature at least. Imric has actually put his head into the veil. Into the veil of evil.
Jeff is like going with goblins, he just turns around.
And you see Imric's just got the head. He's just doing a little dunk, little dunky, and Imric, I need you to make a will saving throw.
One of those.
Grab it. You're not getting pulled in. That's even better. It's not strength save. That's really good. I think he succeeds.
Good now.
Really? About 16.
Looking like. No, I'm telling you!
I got I'm pretty sure I failed my like 2.
You bad on those things?
Yes. Literally only good at dex save. Yeah, that's a 20.
So that's 1 off.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, as soon as it looks at me, I just look it directly in the eyes and I say,
Wait, I will.
next 3 hours you have this horrible, sickened feeling inside of you. But it seems to somehow speak, and you don't feel the mouth. The moment you get that red glow from the side of its face making noise, you spoke to it, you didn't feel the lips move, you hear your mind, it's Cornell's voice. Go. You don't get that in necessarily the most reformed series of statements. It's very much like a series of dispersed thoughts that are momentarily flushed into your mind. Like, somehow this thing is pushing through a barrier. And in a way you feel like, this is Cornell at first, but then when it's like, I won't fight you if you take me back. Then you're getting the idea that's about the third burst of thoughts, more or less, that's entering your mind. You get the idea that there is Cornell, and there's this thing, and you're 90% sure this thing has been projected through Cornell's mind to your mind. So what then Imric may have some understanding of is that that thing has swallowed Cornell's mind or its soul to some degree, where it's not hard, it's easily channeled. This thing is using and buffeting Cornell without even looking like Cornell. You might be using this thing just to try and get you to listen to it.
During that time, Jonathan will eventually try to pull out.
Yeah.
I'm gonna. But I'll save time, but I'm gonna try to bite a hole in my tongue and spit my blood at it. It resisted, but.
Okay. I'm gonna say that easy to do. Both of you make me initiative checks. Imric, you have a +2. Idea.
Okay. Good. 19. Fuck! I wrote that 17.
I rolled a 5.
Oh. I have a +2.
Shit. I have a +11 and +2.
What the fuck?
Shit. Well, you see.
I don't resist really pull me out.
You see one single drop of blood from the end of your book fall down, like right at the edge of that hole. So that drop of blood, like at the bottom wall, or like very small, one singular drop. You feel like you pull Imric out, you see his mouth is like not frothing with blood, but literally brimming with little bits of like, he's literally bleeding, like his whole inside of his mouth is bleeding. And you see, for a moment, Imric's eye, one of them as it comes out is just a glowing red before he blinks at its light.
What did you see? What did you do?
He goes to your, he like opens your eyes, he looks at it.
Eyes are a little bit dilated because of how dark it was, like they're slowly re-dilating.
Like his fingers in front of him.
But you can see his tongue is bleeding, but his mouth is bleeding.
It's awake, I think.
Of course it's awake. It's trying to escape. It's a demon.
Did it feel it? I think it ate. I think it's ate Cornell.
Cornell is lost.
Ate Cornell? And tried to mind. Said it wanted to go home.
I'm doing the thing.
I don't think you can.
It ate Cornell.
He's already eating Cornell when we knew him.
You try to walk into the veil of shadow.
Yeah.
Okay, watches where you.
I'll try to solve that.
I mean, you're not in your dragon form, so you're straight.
I will save and no longer my stick.
Let's just say if this is
Not like walking in front of
it's
him.
a contested athletics.
Like in front of him.
Yeah. Let's
You
do
want to try that? Sure, go ahead.
This is just let's just do 2
Where's
strength.
Bart gonna go in that?
This is a. You know what? Hey, I'm gonna say
Strength.
roll strength. You can do ride.
What does that mean?
His ride is like 12, my strength is like 5.
Why is your red so high?
You can do ride.
Not right. I don't know what's here. He is more fun.
I was gonna say with Jonathan, with the only skill he's really got is actually knowing how to maneuver a horse body back in the day. That would be your best way to, basically try and like half kick this thing to the side.
I guess you do have a mount.
Okay, let's do this. He's going with me now.
That's not how that works.
I'll take you in front of him.
Just fucking grab her and go in.
Okay,
He's just gonna pull me.
so you push and then
Great, not only do you condemn yourself to death, but
Jonathan, you got this.
I have my flame spear in my hand because I need my weapon.
And then you watch as you try to push Jonathan through, it becomes an immovable object. You see white ripples out through the black shadow veil that you were trying to push against, and like suddenly this black veil enters the direction of Jonathan's back. Jonathan, your vision to your right and left. Suddenly that veil of shadows.
How are you stopping me?
I think that is Garthus. Look, guard down. We cannot deal with that demon.
We need a church. Eating Cornell. No one can eat my friends.
I don't think it's a mortal sort of thing that you can kill with force.
We tried to
I'm trying to force.
We tried to kill the force.
I think.
When?
Oh god, I feel terrible.
Doesn't matter before. You're stronger now. We're stronger now. Both of us are stronger now. We should kill it.
I think if we kill it, nice.
If we could,
Still chance of saving.
we could still
Do that.
Much like the transfer ritual for Kundarak, I could potentially create a spell to just send his spiritual form to the void. Whatever realm he belongs.
See, Razumir walks out with one more small clean bottle. Or try.
How many did you make?
Why don't you just have enough for one bottle? And hands it to Sophia. She's like, what am I gonna do?
I need 2 of them for my children.
No way, you don't get your children don't need that shit. They can die. Who cares about your children? Oh, sorry, that's so fucked up. I'm so sorry. No, but like, they're not heroes. You actually should be giving this to the people who need it. Like,
My children need it.
Cornell is a possessed demon guy.
Cornell should have one.
Okay, we
Simri's
agree.
is
Alright.
fine, why does she need one? Simri's is fine. You know,
Cursed.
everyone in this lane is
Razumir walks back and says, I can think, well, we'll see what
We don't need it for the fight.
I don't think he's interested in fighting.
Alright. I will take.
What's your plan? Are you just gonna leave it here? Magic circles don't really hold that long.
I was going to try to ask Razumir to help see them for here.
If I go in there and let it eat me, will I occupy it?
Good idea.
Distract him while you do your
Well,
magic shit.
you talked about something inside of you that eats souls or something, right?
That's true.
If you wanted to take for the worst, if all else fails, maybe you need to use that being inside of you to eat the itself.
But it's inside Cornell.
The demon inside you.
I think at this point,
You separate the demons.
If I do the ritual, there's a chance where I could send off Cornell's spirit that's lingering on him outside. I do not know if it will work. Usually 10 minutes is how it works.
Start now.
Why can we do it? But it has the chance to get free.
Hold it. We can.
6 seconds. We will have to hold it for that long.
C'est Cornell.
Like, you remember every 6 seconds when you're in the void, it killed one of your friends.
Didn't kill me.
He doesn't remember. Only you do.
It didn't kill me.
Alright.
Oh, definitely.
He's immediately like, shut the fuck. Oh,
oh wait.
it's just a branch. Just like, there you go.
Oh, that's so sad, that's for you.
Oh,
Compensating.
my comfort psychosis.
He's excessively insulting me.
If we can find the demon's name, I can split it from Cornell.
I could get his name. I can get the thing inside of it. Go inside it. Make it say its name.
What is inside Moki absurdity?
Very.
that it could do it without having to take the veil down.
Is it evil?
Purpose of today, that's considered, yes, but don't.
I thought it was a beast.
Yes, but he's evil. Look, for today it's evil, but in the future, don't consider it evil because I don't want Oscar to hear this. Don't tell Oscar, please.
Sure. Like a primordial beast, it could be neutral like that.
Might be able. We would have to know. Show us.
This is the vocal ghost, right?
What is
Okay. Body starts to sort of
This is a
like
safe flex.
This is
No sanctimonious breaks here, okay?
flesh bubbles from my chest going up to my throat, and then my face morphs as something crawls out my eye.
Oh, so like venomous and like kind of like sucking out
A
your
hand
pores.
bursts out
Oh god.
and just crawls up my face and stands on my
Walks
head
on.
as eyes just roam about
It's a
it,
front man,
throwing
but back and
morphing,
front.
fleeing mouths and teeth.
Oh wow. That is horrible to look at. What can you do?
That is concerning. It hasn't affected your mental capacities.
Well, he was cursed until you stopped.
I don't know, it was getting worse the entire time. Actively worse mentally.
Showing you it's one side the end, but a little worse.
We're going to have to help him a lot more after we... At least he isn't going through bloodthirst rage rampages yet. But if we can save Cornell, maybe it is a good idea.
It's even normally, but I can have it not volunteer.
Do you always do this?
A blessing, some of my blood here.
John will take a few steps back and he'll cut his wrist open and make a blood circle.
Which part? Like
You know,
here?
I pull a knife out, slit my wrist, and make a ritual circle.
Tongues just start bursting out
Oh,
and licking
basic
the
ritual
lips.
circle. Summon a demon.
God, if only I had my literal new. I got 3 new of these guys, and one of them's like a blood circle and a pentagram circle. So eventually, that'll come next week. We'll
Or wherever it fits.
Great, use your imagination.
Finale. He's like, he'll place it there, he'll stop making it.
His blood is green.
Let's do void.
What? Alright.
Blood is black, that makes much more sense. Cool.
He doesn't know the name of this demon, but he's just preparing it for if he can get the name.
Well, I mean, at least you know Cornell, right? So maybe that'll do something. If they're fully merged, then maybe that'll work. But other than that, who knows?
I got someone here knows it. If there is,
Well, like if they've, you know,
they become one.
more or less because you don't know anything, you've got one route currently until Moki gives you another option. Or Moki's thing, if that thing can be communicated. Said so.
Apparently you can speak a language. You can speak Centauri.
Right.
You see my familiar go crawl back into my eye, and then out comes a sort of who changes the look.
How would you want it to check?
Floating ethereal blob, not actually blob.
It comes out at a smaller sort of black ooze and just crawls and then jumps onto the well and just
Disappears through the shadow veil. Barely a ripple.
oh, do they have disease immunity? Wait, yeah they do. They have +5 on the save them.
Awesome.
Am I actually sickened or do I just feel sick?
You are sickened for 3 hours.
Oh wow, that's bad. Okay.
Your creature does not actually have eyes.
It can make them, but they can't really
Doesn't need them. It has,
Doesn't need
it has basically tremor sense. Am I right? Is it? Or is it?
I think it actually has all around the vision.
That's, yeah, basically,
Yeah.
Or,
So I'm not trying to set them.
but you can see everything.
It has eyes on every single part. You can see it all of it.
Okay, which means
Yes, has all around it.
it needs to make me a DC 21 will save
Will be.
or be sickened. See if it can be sickened.
It can. It's only need to bleed, curses, disease, and ability point damage.
And sickened shouldn't be too bad, other than it affects your save, skill checks, and
Well-
ability checks.
Probably fine. Because an anti-paladin has a plus 14 on will.
Damn. So you need a 7 or higher.
Well, a 4.
Yeah, but
So your little guy has a -2 on attack, damage, saves, skill checks, and ability checks, which includes your spell save.
Yeah.
So
that's plus 8.
for 8 hours.
Damn. Okay. Well, I was going to try possessing it. Go for spell response.
-2, so that means you have to get a 3 or higher.
3 or higher.
4 on the dot or higher.
I rolled shit last session, and I've only rolled once this session, and I got an 8.
Just roll better.
This was a 4. Don't roll shit dice, please.
Because it's once every 24 hours
Yeah.
for your possession.
You know what? Before it does that, we'll do.
To off itself.
Can demons get sickened? Probably. Who knows? It's going to horrific appearance and becomes horrifying to the demon.
So you want to sicken the demon?
Yes, I want to sicken the demon.
Well, it can look at you.
He can look at you and it will look back.
It can be sickened. And wow. What is the save and what's the DC?
DC 18. And will.
Oh, wow, okay. Well, I rolled an 8 plus 9. 17.
I sickened it back, baby!
-2 as well.
So how long is that for?
It's for a very short amount of time. 2d6 rounds.
Oh, wow. That's 2d6 hours? It's 2d6 rounds, that's fine.
8 rounds.
Okay, wow, you have 8 hours and it has 8 rounds. Okay, but that's long enough.
For it to have
Possession it now has -2 in its possession. Save.
It will do Beacon of Evil to get a +1 on the roll.
Okay.
Should have charged itself up down here.
It's going Super Saiyan.
Yep, and that's it, and it can only start now. Okay, let's do this.
Okay. I'm going to say one of those effects happens right before it jumps in.
I still have to get 3 more, doesn't increase spell attack, but increase. Yeah, that's it. An 11, which is plus 10, 21.
So the spell save CDC goes through. The matter of the ooze sticks to it.
Alright, the saving for that
Just
matter.
start to sink in, as an and I'll do a will save.
Alright.
DC 25, but it's immune to fear, immune to disease, so I have a +5. But
+5,
so -2.
So +3, +9.
+9.
So I have to get a 13 or, what is it, 25?
25.
It's 3. If you get 13 or higher. That's an 11. Total.
Okay.
Turtle?
13 total. Wait, 2 plus 12, 13 total. Sorry. Oh, my radio.
It sinks in as its soul becomes suppressed inside itself as the Wukong just looks at it and tries to claim it.
How does Moki connect with this thing while it's not in its body? How do you interpret that connection?
I have an empathetic link, which is
Actual demon or a demon?
No, this is a nightmare demon.
I can.
Okay. They're not immune to disease, they're immune to
Oh,
You know, the demons are
Oh, then you can get a +5. Okay. Okay. They're not immune to disease, they're immune to
oh.
You know, the demons are
Oh, then you can get a +5. Okay.
We communicate
It is an outsider,
feelings,
so yeah.
only emotions we can communicate with. You can speak to me, but that's really it. At range, we can only feel emotion.
With this thing's body, it has a telepathy of 100 feet. So immediately it is able to fully connect with your mind through the body of this disease.
Yes.
Understand a few things, of which I'm now going to send to you by Discord, and you will have this information alone. You have some sort of like rhythmic tune that seemed to wake this demon up at the moment of its birth, and it repeats this in its mind, and your possessor seems to be able to tell that it's repeating this thing to keep itself conscious inside of your disease.
Nice.
But you're also realizing, as you've telepathically connected, that this disease that you're infected and your disease are equivalently ancient siblings. Two different diseases grown from two different paths on the same organ, more or less. You have, Moki, the aspect of illness, the festering of him, while this was the aspect of the disease, the deathless reborn. Two different aspects of one thing separated, and then as you connect to it, combines.
Together. Guys, hopefully this demon fighter, the Wukong, gets us all forever.
Right. Do you want to give the Wukong another demon?
It's actually giving the Wukong back a part of itself, which it wasn't supposed to have. But if it gets this, it will be stronger.
Let's do it!
Wow, it'll be immune to time manipulation. Perfect.
To some degree. Like Theo's clock. You just
Okay.
I'm saying this too, but you realize that now this thing is still locked inside, your thing is still locked inside. There is no, even though it's telepathically telling you through this new mind, there is no connection to Cornell that you can sense. Nor can your emotionally connected creature. Like, basically, you're able to sync.
Talk to me now.
You're able to sync with your creature, with this demon. The voice, because I couldn't describe. It is like it is best representation. It is like the aspect of Baal BT3, where it's that like true groveled child, but it whispers in your mind. It almost rumbles your mind. You feel its voice, its power. It's telepathic. You realize that obviously this one aspect of the disease has been trapped for so long that it would have at any moment's notice taken hold of anything that was evil in this place, because it saw your vessel, the thing that it was connected to. It seemed to stop, recognize it as related to it, and then that was just enough time for your disease to latch on. So, not that you'd ever even known the name of your disease before, although you called it Wukong, it called itself the Isfan-Ulvol.
It's on the moon.
The fester, which is obviously an infection whose only purpose is to sow chaos into the past of its host's body.
The name of the demon. We should have killed him.
Dark purpose aims to start wars and turn the intellect of confident leaders into dangerous, unpredictable criminals.
Would you like me to summon its manifestation now?
Hold on. Does my familiar send me?
It sends you a telepathic connection it has with that thing. You being the only first person to register, I mean, however you choose to interpret its name, it's more or less an amorphous name that has never, you're able to vocalize it. You can't read it in your mind because that doesn't exist, but you're almost able to just speak it into existence because it's a part of you telepathically.
I'm in control of it. I think if you render any divine aid or frequent help, you also awaken the demon, which I'm in control. I think we've done it. I think we don't have to fight it. I've got it. I... Rook. That. Where's my fellow's name?
Wash as you feel your connection get a tiny bit weaker for a second. Jonathan, you hear this this like almost really, really loud, muffled punching sound, mixed with a kind of scraping sound from the bottom of that well. That's Moki saying. You didn't say that, you just telepathically said that. So Moki doesn't say anything, but he did say, I have control, and now you're just hearing this quiet, muffled thumping.
Demons, when they die, they reform elsewhere, correct?
Yes, unless they die in their own plane.
If you kill it, we kill it once, maybe. Then one people might be its soul. Go forever.
I see. Dragon.
My questioning like within 50 feet.
Alright.
Plus that it will free itself.
Billy and Cornell as well.
You feel...
I think if we heal it with divine, Cornell will come out armed, telling me that.
You feel telepathically, this creature gains distance going down, breaking through the fountain of fate. Breaking underneath. You see, and then it rises up. Telepathically, you're able to, like, by hearing its mind, kind of psionic reconnaissance sort of energy, you're able to just hear telepathically how close and far away it is from you, until you realize it did not break out of the shell, it simply dug down, went sideways, and then dug up. So it just left the sphere.
Good to any point.
Emerges right beside Moki, out from underneath the ground beside the well, whips itself up. You see a close to 15-foot tall demon standing on its hind legs. Get back to an 8-foot tall, kind of quadrupedal stance. Its tails, all three of them whipping around. You see that black ichor, it seems to be just like a black liquid, which is reminiscent of Moki's ooze, just leaking down its eyes. And you see their Imric saw glowing red eyes, now they're just black, void eyes, all 6 of them, which you can see 3 on each side.
Rook, kneel.
You hear this horrible sound inside its body, and then you see its back legs, which are kind of standing up, bend invertedly, because they are very unnatural. Its body
I have to do something.
And then you notice
This power.
That's medieval.
Oh, controlling a demon.
I didn't think you had that power, and I think it's a great time. As you hear this.
you see a weird form coming from this direction. Through the forest, Oscar, or at least a humanoid form, with maybe what looks like a 9 to 10 foot tall, maybe 3 or 4 9 to 10 foot tall pole arms just sticking out of his back. Like large spears and halberds and multiple pieces of weaponry just like on his back or through his back, and he's walking, and then you can see that there is some giant dark blue gown almost that's walking behind him, and you see parting through the trees. Not dark, but light blue skin. A kind of metal horn held with 2 whitish ivory horns around him. One shoulder mantle of metal, but mostly just a kind of weird, almost ceremonial gown. Just probably for the first time ever, a ice giant.
We'll follow the detail.
Walking across the path.
With something giant.
Trying to be
Oscar.
I don't understand.
That was enough to know.
I walked up to the demon eyes were making into its head and was looking at the eyes. Yes!
Let's go, Dennis.
Finally!
You see the demon looks, and you see its tongue emerge from the side of its mouth. You see its tongue has 3 splits, like a triple surface, and you see it just kind of like hangs out the side of its mouth.
It's cute.
As you grab its face and slightly open its mouth, its tongue kind of just rolls out. You see, it's still a horrible tongue because it's basically 3 tongues.
mine now.
Oscar just coming in to see like massive amounts of fucking demon energy and death energy just flying everywhere.
A lot.
This is a normal situation. This is like everyday party as Murky's will lie.
I need rest, Rasimir. I think this was the challenge you spoke of.
Oscar, things have developed.
Well, the ice devils were stronger than me. What the fuck is that?
Is that a man or a woman?
That looks to be a masculine figure, although it is very slender. Very slender. Very slender.
I can't identify.
He's certainly holding a bit of a feminine pose in that moment, but
Okay.
that's just sexist of you, okay? Okay, you say that. Anyway, it's just
Small titties, alright? That's fine.
Yeah.
what you assume to be male, but then, you know, a bit
like
more.
feminine,
He's a bit androgynous for the. Yeah,
Really big dump truck ass, but
Well, that's look, all men have dump truck asses when they're wearing dresses, okay? This is facts. That's why men do not wear dresses at school, because they would be slapped.
That's the only reason why.
Oscar, ice devils were stronger than me, so I did what they didn't want. I did this guy. And you hear,
It's clearly female, isn't it?
I was imprisoned by the Bros forces for what I am guessing was centuries.
You hear it speaking common, but verbally he's really trying to speak common. Like, it's not natural to him, but probably seems like Oscar's done enough.
Has the great God War ended?
Oscar says,
I'm trying to tell you, yes. There should be a breed of strong giants here, thick-headed, strong.
Rasimir says,
Well done, Oscar. You've just woken Odysseus' finest sorcerer. A like or warm connection to divine power which is hindered in this land. You, what's your name? Voig. Have the...
The best part of this is that we're not paying attention to it whatsoever. These two are just having this conversation completely by themselves.
they're just like, it just became like, they're
We're just
walking
sitting here
over.
like, what the fuck is happening here?
Oscar's starting to notice, but then these two.
The forehead of my demon going,
Just staring at horror.
Murky's just popping up, and Joker's like, what the fuck? He looks at the giant go,
He's like, yeah! Just like, it's the fucking coke-headed dude just like absolutely freaking out.
You have the power to manipulate freely. No more giants live in these mountains. Humans like these push them out. These mortals are fighting for your queen.
Right. Humans like that one. That's it.
like that one right there.
I mean, you know, I think he thinks Jonathan more or less looks human.
Nice human.
So
Casually floating 5 feet over his off the ground.
we lost the war,
You're just a necromancer, isn't it?
but my queen still fights. Yes. She has returned, but only at half her strength. They are formulating a plan to help her. Do you wish to add your input? How can I speak on her behalf when I have been stuck subterranean for thousands of years? I'm lucky my aging was altered by my spell before I was forced into my prison.
Yeah, behind you. There's Moki sinking with this creature. Moki, I want you to make for me the exact perfect. I want you to make me a sense motive roll. On technically both your creature and the creature it's possessing via the telepathic bond.
Okay.
Yeah, that's name.
Am I getting helped by my familiar? With
I will
a better sense motive than me?
You will. This is a sense motive. You can do it with your creature. Your creature from Moki will get a +2. Actually, no, Moki will have to make the event, check with the event. So you need to make a 10, beat a 10 to give it +2, and then it can make the roll.
Okay, I'm going to do that. So I have to beat a 10 as Murky. I only have a +8 as Murky, so I have to get a 1 or higher. I got a 9, that beats it.
So +2.
And now my familiar, who normally has +10, has +12. Do this. Damn, that's a shit roll, 15.
That's only bad. Roll.
I've rolled above a 10 this session.
Which is funny because you're modified. I
It's
wanted
quite
to just
funny,
be
yeah.
good enough to make up for it.
Yeah, that's
myself.
to do a tournament, thanks, dude.
The connection you have with this thing, you've been so focused on it for the last 30 seconds, the last minute, as it's emerged out and you've just kind of grabbed onto it, you can feel yourself and it feeling around through it, like a kind of torrent of water that you're just kind of swimming through. And you can feel all of the centuries of, to you, it is living experience, but because it was in such a dark place, it just doesn't feel like it's living. It's like a void. It is like quite literally living in darkness. And then that darkness precedes so much time that you're swimming through it like nothing's happened. You can't see anything, so nothing's happening to you visually. But then you reach a point where you notice it's looking in through a tower where there is light. It's looking at your group through a window of one of the tall towers when you're in the void. Right before, and then you notice, or remember the feeling through this creature as it demolishes towers that it saw you in, breaking the ground underneath you. There was points where suddenly it's looking at a moon. You never looked at that moon. You're seeing a bright white sphere. White sphere. You're seeing one eye open towards the top of that moonlight sphere. But that eye shape is filled with nothing but a void of darkness. And then you see from the bottom of that center of the eye, you see a black rift opening in the moon that is seemingly like just a black void. There's a little eye above. Now there's a black void opening above the eye, beneath the eye. And it's just getting wider and wider. And that is in your memory. You're absorbing this. You're trying, consciously maybe not, but you're trying to find Cornell inside of this thing. And at this point, you're getting stuck too late in its mind. You were trying to push him deep enough to when the group first met, and it hasn't let you see past when you read the book. There are memories locked inside of that thing.
No trace of Cornell?
There are memories and traces of Cornell. In terms of timeline, you're like, when Cornell was with you, when you first arrived in Krula, when you were shipwrecked, you're looking for those memories. And to you, it feels like it's still conscious enough. It knows it's been captured.
It's locking those memories out.
It's shutting them down. You know you've reached almost to that period of time. You've gotten months and months back in time. You've threaded through its mind. Because at this point, inside of Jonathan, it's been able to see nothing. In the void, it was able to see basically nothing. And that's what you've been searching for.
Cornell's in here. I can feel the memories, but I can't see them.
Alright, I'll leave you to do what you're doing. I'll go greet our
Its name.
Jonathan, you see Razumir's thing. I believe before your group decides to do something, we should make sure you speak with your goddess now.
Alright.
Or it will be too late if you are planning to move with me.
Edward, how will you? No, don't tell me. Just, I would love to speak to her again.
I will need your scrolls, and I will need you to come with me while they discuss And as Jonathan walks quietly aside, you see Carthus behind you. Wait, you are willing to trust the centaur like me.
Yes, trust me.
You see he's basically standing between you and Moki.
I trust that he will not go too far. But for now it seems reasonably okay.
I don't understand how it is even possible for him to control it.
I believe he is connected to some ancient being of great power as well.
They're related to me. We're siblings.
You watch as
Arthas, do you want to come and watch the goddess once more? I am going to make divine commute with her.
Seems so personal, but I have some questions that she needs to tell me.
So you see the purple cloak quickly move past you into the cave with you. Like he's fucking eager now. You invited him. And you walk in and you watch as Rezimir has laid the 3 scrolls that you gave him on the ground in a triangle around him. He's put in 3 other positions to form a kind of Star of David. He's put 3 candles at the other tricornal positions.
I have 4 scrolls, technically.
Before he requests of you to give him the last scroll, the first scroll, the scroll of Fated Bone. Do you relinquish that to him as well?
I've read them all.
Puts that right in there. The scroll. This is the first that she designed. The first that she thought would benefit us the most. The one that I told her was a bad idea. She said she would be the most helpful. And as he says that, you see all of the scrolls suddenly unravel, lay across the floor, kind of perfectly. Now he's not touching any of them, they all just spread out across the floor. Not a single bit of debris or crumbs, nothing rips off from them. Suddenly, dark, void sigils start to cover the ground. The candle suddenly, from glowing with a dull orange flame, suddenly starts to sputter. Flame changing. Orange, red, violet, deep purple, black. 3 black candles, 4 scrolls. All of the words on those scrolls suddenly become like splotched. You see, it's almost like the ink on all of them seems to just spread across the page for maybe permanently, you're not even sure, but those pages become completely indistinguishable from just a black piece of parchment. Suddenly all of that ink seems to just, until it's black fire, black papyri paper. You feel weirdly, you're not in the circle. He didn't ask you to walk in there, but
Get back into
you see there is some strange. There's no curtain or veil of darkness, but you see as all of that blackness, as the pit goes black, as the fire goes black, you see suddenly sparking to life in the center of that circle, 4 feet off the ground, there is this small black fire.
like a rift.
It doesn't. It seems like as if a floating orb of fire. I mean, but it's black. It's not rift light. It's not a tear. It's a sputtering piece of darkness that seems to ripple like fire, like crackle.
I was like waiting for this to turn into like the death scene where he just gets taken somewhere random. And is like, you gotta leave this place. I'm like, I don't want to leave this path. Quick like that. Yay.
You see Carthus is more or less beside you, and on your other side is Razimir. I suggest touching the fire, but before you do,
Just know that
Touch it.
if she wants to speak with us, she'll likely speak through me. And if she wants to speak with you, we won't be able to hear it. She'll talk in your mind. At least that's what I believe will happen.
That's fine. I am a loyal servant of Farina.
Figure it out yourself.
Now, this ability is mixed between
Don't
divination and contact outer planes, which means
Don't have any idea what you're doing.
because you are an level caster, you have 4 questions. These questions, unlike contact other planes, which contact other planes is like low, wheel that, it's more like divination, you get full responses. Just as an hour game thing, you realize how short this connection is. You think, maybe the amount of scrolls is the amount of connection you have, or maybe it's your temporary strength as a mage. But it's channeled through you as you. Do you step in and grab the fire, or what do you do?
You walk up to the fire. You grasp his hands
Coddle your hands around it.
around it, as it will eventually touch it.
You raise your hands
I
up.
assume that when he touches the fire, his flesh will return back to its shadowy mart as the white lines of his soul.
It's more like the white lines appear first, just as your hands touch it. The sun, all of them ignite at once, and then that veil of darkness washes over you. That white aura faintly emanating. You're able to see Kathis. But Razumir looks nothing like he did before. He looks like just literal lumps. There's nothing. He had a hood and a mask and a blue cloak. Now he's just a mask floating in space. Kathis looks like a very, very shadowy thing that in this room, already heavily shadowed, is hard to see, but it's that dark purple cloak, really. I can see the outline in a roughly these from the sunlight that's barely entering through the entryway.
Yeah, three girls walk into a bed.
Everyone walks in. She's like, "Oh well, no, I'm done." No. You. You hear. To make a deal with them. 1 and 88.
34.
You hear this like breathing sound that's so it feels distant. It's a quiet, distant sound muffled with so much other breathing sounds. That surrounding orchestral breathing, horrible, ghostly sound, like words that are half formed that never fully materialize and then disappear. That it feels like it's something that is breathing and moving so close to you so fast, and then suddenly it stops. And then you feel your whole body, instead of standing, feel like you're just floating. Like at that moment that breath got so close to you, it knocked you backwards. You don't feel yourself standing anymore. And there's just this detachment. Well, this detachment, at least from what you feel like, is gravity.
So similar to the power he stole from whatever it is.
Yeah.
But also sister his.
Yeah. You're back to that kind of floating, gentle state. And you're not even really leaning backwards, but you were out of the shock, the moment of kind of pushing back from the sound of the breath rushing at you. And then you hear quietly, echo as if from somewhere beyond a wall. So it's very muffled. One question. How a few minutes. It's muffled, barely makes it through, and there's an understanding from that Razumir voice that you've heard a few times now, that you've got the ability to ask questions. You still haven't heard her reply and speak, but you've got a few minutes.
So what you want to say? Why did you sacrifice yourself?
Why did you sacrifice? Okay.
Next question.
It's kind of breath that feels drawn out. Jonathan, my child, my daughters, her anger was not even nature. Death for you. Tears out the sin. I sacrificed myself so she would learn that. She is still so good. She has not become as wise. That is why I feast. Death, your teacher. You feel that there's almost like a separation, a fragment where it's almost like a current blocks your path and then suddenly it goes quiet again.
I have to remove her connection of her to you. If you allow it,
My child, I live noises, and with that grudge comes violence. Soon you will have to make that true and important decision for all we have done to protect life. I beg you to choose humanity, even above divine, or a fate worse than mine was with wounds.
I am not greedy, so I will not ask more. I will give Caiaphas a question, for he has much he wants to be asked of you.
That's good.
I am so sorry, my mistress. I have done my best to find everything. I want to know only one thing more than all else. How can I assemble you again?
Both in this space, and yet he feels less real than you do, which is crazy because to you, visibly, it's like he's just a cloak, like a hooded cloak without anything inside it. It's just floating in darkness.
I think now Jonathan's realized it's just astral projection of his soul from a very, very far distance. So it's like,
And like to you, you're like, if she's not even technically in a dead realm, how far away did this ritual have to stretch to find her? You, my most valuable skills, I kept inside the temple off the coast, feel smooth.
take them for who they are and fight the murder of the scrolls protector. Taking those scrolls by force is the only things God fears. If you do steal them, then my respect and their city will be all yours. My daughter has no care of the carnage her temple will bring. For I could never hold that labor. I could never blame the royal humans for holding our power in check. So much death soon gone. Humans have all but forgotten. But we, without the ability to forget, have to remember and have to activate if we want to see a better outcome. I am like you, the most reserved god of the pantheon, but soon I am sure my authority in the council will be revoked, for I have stayed quiet for too long, and my daughter speaking for me was the very thing I was disassembled for. Have my orders. He backs out of this.
Back it up. Here's that. In this realm.
After flying, he will. This question probably be my most selfish one. Have we done enough for you, Farina? I apologize for my tough wavering faith.
notice what sounds like alien whispers at a point where it sounds momentarily human, but then becomes so distorted you feel like the language barriers triple up. You swear still you hear a grip, the current of sweeping voices like wind. Now, Gates, she doesn't have a temple anymore. So, I don't know what the fuck to do with that. So, you feel suddenly your body hit the ground quite first. You feel scrolls, like paper parchment, just fall around you as well. You no longer see in the room anyone but us.
Rip that guy.
Closes his eyes.
Together.
That's what we're doing. So,
Bigger they are, harder they fall.